So the very first question is about xenophobia, right? Which is a serious subject that the world has faced, especially recently, because we have seen that people are trying to migrate from places where the wars are, they are struggling against the civil wars and stuff. And my opinion about it is just like it's shameful that some governments stop people from coming to their borders just because they belong to a certain ethnicity, right? So my answer to that, it's just a shame. It's just shame that walls are being built, that fences are being built. These people are not being considered like human beings. They're just being considered like people coming here for what there's no reason they're not taking into consideration what they could do for their country, what they could add for their country, because these people bring with them their own history, their own culture. They bring with them lots of knowledge, right? Of course, we know that there are problems, and even Greece, which is a country that got harbored many people coming into it, but Greece is going through a very hard economical moment. But Greece has just built a fence, right, to stop people from coming into it. But it's hard. I know it's tough. It's a tough situation, but this xenophobic attitude is just shameful. I have nothing else to say. When we think about that, we think that there could be, I think there could be, if governments thought different the way they think. The capitalist world is really disgraceful to the way it treats human beings, right? And they only think about what they can gain. So to integrate people into one community or into one country, yeah, I think it is possible, but things would have to change drastically, dramatically. And maybe in the future, let's say some 3-4 generations from now, if people start thinking differently, if people start fighting against the xenophobic views that are growing now, we just seen this with Donald Trump's election, right? If we start changing this drastically, I think it is possible to integrate people and to respect cultures and to think of ethnicity as just a matter of we're all the same. Okay, we just come from different places, and this brings richness. This brings lots of good things, right? But at the moment, unfortunately, I don't think so. I think it is possible if you think of countries who still harbor people from other places. For example, Australia is the country I can talk about the most because I have lived there, right? So Australia gets people coming into the country, and they help these people by offering them English courses for free. Okay, I'm not talking about refugees. So Australia expects these people to come with money so that they can support themselves in the beginning, in case they cannot. So Australia offers them with financial help, but of course there is a trial, like they look for these people who are coming into the countries. I don't know about refugees and how Australia is harboring refugees. Utophically speaking, I think there should be ways could be, for example, there are so many places in Brazil, let's say Brazil, so many places in Brazil that could be developed and could help these people to have a place to stay, right? If you divide these people just like, okay, what can you offer in terms of work? And where do we need this type of work? So let's take you in, let's get places for you to stay, let's provide you with the basic needs, right? A place to be sheltered, not any place. We're not talking about unhuman conditions. We're talking about a decent condition for human beings, sorry. So there is a lot of money. The problem is there is a lot of corruption, and we don't even know where our money, the money on taxes that we pay, is going to. So utopically speaking, if there was no corruption, or a minimum level of corruption that we know that there is everywhere, we could get people into a country like Brazil that has so much resource. It's such a resourceful country, right? Could get people into the country and help these people, utopically speaking, right? But I don't see this happening, especially here, because we cannot offer. We see that there are people from Haiti in Brazil. These people are undernourished. They are living on the street. We see them in São Paulo looking for help at churches, right? So it's a shame that we are not helping. And churches, they don't pay for taxes. So I think churches should be forced to help people. So if they're not paying taxes, what are you doing with the money you get from the people who support you, from the people who are coming into the church? So do something for these people, right? And very few churches are helping, right? So utopically speaking, maybe the government should force churches to start. You don't pay taxes, okay, so help these people. Aren't you Christians? Don't you preach that? So do that. So I think this could be a way, one way. You know. I definitely think that the country could benefit from the entry of immigrants, right? This is a huge country. Areas that could have been explored, not exploited, right? Explored. And these people could be helped and could help us. There are some very few cases of people who are coming into Brazil, and they are because they come with some money, so they can start up their own business, and they bring their cuisine, they bring a bit of their culture into the country. But I definitely think that they could enrich this country. Again, Australia is a very rich country in terms of culture. And this is something interesting about Australia, because I don't see much of a xenophobic attitude in Australia. On the contrary, everybody is accepted, everybody is respected. You know, I felt in the beginning when I went there that, oh my God, there will be prejudice because I'm Latin American. No, right? This never happened. On the contrary, this South Brazil is fantastic. Oh, it's so good to have a Brazilian among us, right? And then it benefits a lot because you can eat food from wherever the world you can think of. You can go to any kind of church you can think of. There are English, every kind of languages courses, even for free in churches. So, and Australia is a very, very young country, right? It's a Brazil that went right? And but it doesn't have not even half of the resources Brazil has. Australia is around, I'm not sure, 230 years, 235 years, something around that. But the idea of the people who went to Australia was, okay, let's explore this in the sense of let's contribute, not exploit, right? There is a difference between these two words. Let's contribute and let's make this country our own, right? So yes, I do believe that immigrants can do a lot for the country, but there is, of course, we're talking about an ideal society. Okay, there are costs. The only problem is we cannot control. We don't know what is being done with our money, right? The money is just being wasted and wasted and wasted. So, yeah, I think that's it.